Charles Tupper, from Amherst, Nova Scotia, was a father of Confederation and founding president of the Canadian Medical Association. He had a profound impact on the medical profession in Canada and on the country as a whole.
It's perhaps not surprising that Sir Charles Tupper is mostly remembered as a politician because he spent 50 years in public life and held most of the major positions in the land.
Raised enough money by borrowing money to go to Edinburgh University, which was then considered the best medical school in the English-speaking world. And he returned to become a country doctor at Amherst and set up his own practice and a drugstore, which is quite common in those days because more of the money was made from selling the drugs, I think, than being a doctor.
He planned to be the local surgeon and physician and did that for 13 years until his local citizens thrust him onto the political stage when they noticed how powerful he was in his ability to speak.
He becomes head of the Conservative Party of Nova Scotia, Premier of Nova Scotia, leads Nova Scotia into Confederation, helping to negotiate the terms of that entry at the Charlottetown and Quebec conferences in 1864, where he plays a very important part.
He then began to enact a lot of issues that are related around medicine and health. He argued for a general hospital for the area, for better institution care for the poor. He argued for a statistical office. He argued for a medical school for the region because it was expensive to send maritime students off to Edinburgh or Philadelphia to get their education, as he had done. He argued for better quarantine because of the many ships bringing illness and disease into the city. He did many of these things, but perhaps the most important at the time, against all those in politics, the citizens, the rich, did not want to pay for the education of all children. He argued for free education for all children, the first time this had been done in British North America, and he did it against all opposition.
Dr. Tupper was the founding president of the Canadian Medical Association in 1867 and the only one to hold that office for 3 consecutive terms. 150 years later, Dr. Tupper would be proud of the CMA's current emphasis on the impact the social determinants of health have on Canadians, things like poverty, housing, education, a value he helped to instill in the profession.
One of the things we notice is that the politicians at the time were surprised because it was a time of Victorian oratory and people negotiated and people did things in the House of Commons with speeches of 4 and 5 hours. He was a man who came in with facts, he pointed his finger, he pounded the desk, and he got whatever he wanted.
He plays a large part in the building of the first National Canadian Railway, which links Canada from sea to sea, the Canadian Pacific Railway. As Minister of Public Works, he's responsible for getting it done, and he gets it done.
He didn't act through his career as a politician. He acted like a surgeon. Surgeons don't negotiate and they don't ask for committees and they don't use subtle process of negotiation. What they do is they see what needs to be done and they do it. And that's what he always did. He was a remarkable man who could accomplish almost anything related to the health of the people that he wanted to do. He accomplished a great deal for this country, both medically and politically.
A father of Confederation, Canadian Medical Association pioneer, passionate champion of public health, Canadian Medical Hall of Fame laureate, Sir Charles Tupper.